G'day humans, Chris Stead from Finder here, and we're talking NFT games, and I've got a message to my fellow gamers. To all of these guys who have been harshing the buzz of Ubisoft after they've just announced Ubisoft Quartz and the Ubisoft Digits NFT platform and NFT initiative. You need to give a about Ubisoft Quartz, and in this video, I'm going to explain why. Let me start by saying that I'm a gamer. Okay, I'm not a cryptocurrency guy. In fact, I've been working in the games media for over 25 years. I've been working on launches of consoles and tech and all of that kind of stuff, and I'm about the games, I'm about the fun, I'm about the gameplay experiences, right? That's where I'm coming from with this. Now, know you guys have been hurt before, I've been hurt before. You know, I was sitting in the Microsoft E3 press conference when they got up on stage and said, you know, when they first introduced microtransactions and they went, you'll be able to buy stuff for just 1 cent. Like it was a sick thing. And then, of course, we got horse armor for $5 and we were like, what? You know, I waded through all those mobile games and all those monetization strategies and all those horrible timers and the way they just kept trying to bleed you of money, all that. You know, I get it. There's been some bad blockchain games in those early years, 2018, 2019, 2020. Even now, there were some scams. There's been all that price warring over various NFTs. Graphics card prices have gone up, I get it. There's a lot of things to think about there that you're not gonna really rate or rave about, but I have been following NFT game space very closely and the whole blockchain thing as it's been coming on, and there's some applications of this technology which are really, really cool, and Ubisoft Quartz and the Ubisoft Digits are actually really, really important to us, and they're actually giving us something that we really need and that we've actually wanted for a long time. Now here's some figures you really should think about. Did you know that in the financial year 2021, EA made US $1.6 billion from Ultimate Team? You know, the players that you're trading out, those cards, $1.6 billion US dollars. Do you know that Epic Games came out and said it made US $50 million of just one set of skins in Fortnite, just one set? Think about how many they've released. Now, for what? What are we getting out of that? Bit of fun, bit of pleasure, but really we're just throwing our money at something that we do not own. We're throwing our money and we're getting a bit of pleasure in return, and then that's it. There's nothing else. We don't have anything tangible out of that. Now, when I was a kid and I was first getting into gaming and I invested $1,000 into video games and I had them sitting on my shelf, if something went wrong, if I needed to fix my bike, or I was trying to get some money for my first car, or heaven forbid, had a medical emergency or needed to see a dentist and just needed some cash, I had something that I could sell. I might not get my $1,000 back, but I might have got 600. You know what I mean? I actually could do something about it. You can't do that now. You can't go and sell your Games Pass subscription. You can't get that downloadable game you've had and just take it down to the local swap mart or sell it out of your boot at a boot car sale. You can't do these things. You can't make any money back from the money that you're investing. And this is just an archaic way of looking at things, and it's just not sustainable. It's a black hole. It's sucking us in. And it's not just gaming, right? Okay, there's subscriptions to all this entertainment channels and Adobe software and all this type of stuff that we're just pushing money constantly out, but we've got nothing tangible in return. And that is a risky place to put ourselves in as a community, as a society, and as gamers. Now, NFTs are the solve, because NFTs, which I know it's a non-fungible token, which can sound like a nasty word, but what it really does is it takes those exact same things that we've already got, the guns, the skins, the things that we buy as DLC, our characters, the games themselves, our user-created generated content, the tracks you create and all track editors and all that type of stuff. It takes all of that content and it remains exactly the same. And you play exactly the same you do now. And you pay the exact same amount that you do now to get it in the first place. Or maybe you don't even pay, maybe you earn it in-game. The difference is that it's a unique asset that is coded to you, and that you have the ability therefore to own it and control its destiny, which means if I decide I want to sell it or trade it or lend it, I can do it because it's in my control. It's not in a developer's control. And that is the quintessential most important thing to understand here, because this allows, it's not about investing and trying to make a ton of money. You might make some money. You know, if you go and invest 100 hours into a game and get your sword leveled up to crazy things and put all these rag customizations on everything like that, someone may end up paying you way more than you invested in it to get it. Okay, this is not new. We saw this in World of Warcraft like over a decade ago. Remember that guy that got stabbed because of his sword? You know, like, so we've actually kind of wanted this for a really, really, really long time. We need this. We need to be able to have more than just our time in these games. We need to have our investment in this game to have some meaning. And what Ubisoft has done with Ubisoft Quartz, and why I'm really excited about seeing where it goes, and I really hope that they do well with it, is because this is not a win for them. You know, if it goes really well and people jump on and people get control of all their assets, then someone like a Ubisoft, they miss out, because if I buy Assassin's Creed off them and then sell it to someone else, they don't get a cut of that necessarily. They certainly don't get the full cut. They might code in a little 5% or something like that, but they get a full cut. It's like the pre-owned market, right? The big games guys, they didn't like the pre-owned market because there was just games exchanging hands and they didn't get a piece of the pie. All right, you know, people like EA, they want that $1.6 billion out of Ultimate Team. They don't want you guys in the background owning your assets and trading things in different rounds, maybe even building your own. So they don't want that to happen. So for Ubisoft to be this big third-party AAA game publisher and to come out and say, you know what, we're in on this. We want to give the control to the actual gamers, our customers, the people who are playing our games, our fans, rather than holding it all internally, centralized and in our control, is a ballsy move. It's brave, right? You know, and we should be celebrating it. And unfortunately, when I've looked at some of the commentary on some of these articles and seen the gut reaction from a lot of fans and gamers, it hasn't been like that. It's been really, really negative. In fact, some of it's just been pure hate. And so I'm wondering whether it's just a lack of understanding, or it's because there's been some experiences that have burnt people in the past, or, you know, like, we get scared as gamers, we do. I mean, we start to see these new things happening, it's falling outside of our norm. It's not what we're kosher with, we're happy with. You know, we do have a negative reaction, we always have. You know, we've blasted things out of the water just because we haven't been willing to embrace it, and we've seen great tech just go out the window. Look at Connect. You know, like, we just ditched that thing, didn't we? That thing was sick. It was ahead of its time. But, you know, developers didn't help that, didn't make any great games. So have a think about all that. So what am I looking forward to? You know, I'm looking forward to buying a skin once and then being able to use it across multiple games. I'm looking forward to finishing a game and being stoked with everything that happened, and then selling on the gear I no longer need to some young budding players coming through and starting their journey. I'm looking forward to actually caring about my user-generated content because I own it and I control it and I decide what happens with it. And I'm looking forward to just, you know, having some skin in the game for the time and the money I've invested into this for the last 40 years of my life. I think this is what we're going to get with NFTs, and I think that things like Ubisoft Quartz and Digits, while there's still plenty of things that it needs to sort out, you know, like obviously the environmental impact of these things, it's a big issue. And if you read the documentation, you'll see that they're going for proof of stake, which is considerably less energy consuming than what Bitcoin uses, which is proof of work, in order to maintain the blockchain that operates the digits. So they are trying, and they are conscious of it, and they are going to help drive forward a more environmentally safe, energy efficient NFT future. That's something that definitely has to be talked about. We can't ignore it, you know. And we do have to make sure that this thing stays in the ecosystem. It stays with the gamers. We don't really want non-gamers coming into this ecosystem and smashing up the prices of things. But I don't think that's what they're doing. It's certainly not what they're doing at the moment. It's certainly not what it's built to do at the moment. I think it's just going to be us gamers living the dream. Anyway, that's why you should give a about Ubisoft Quartz. End rant. I'm Chris Stead from Finder. If you want to read more about Ubisoft Quartz, jump onto the finder.com website. I've got a massive article on it explaining in more detail why, how it works, and what it's going to offer us in our future if everything comes together as it looks like it's going to. And also, how you can get involved and actually try it out for yourself. Happy gaming.